4 voting members, so we do have a quorum. So why don't we, Kathy, we'll start the meeting at 6:02. And to buy some time, I will read the remote meeting procedures. All right, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you'll need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at www.zoom.us and create an account or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. You'll need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we'll endeavor to keep the meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. Our use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. While the board members of commissioners and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted and with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found under participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request to the chair and the email materials to board staff for sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. There is a markup function in Zoom which will allow you to call out specific areas of presentation materials. As in any meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Business will be handled at the times indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion and second, so it'll be clear to the audience and minute takers who made motions. All votes will be by roll call. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signal the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the webinar at that time. Applicants will join the webinar as attendee and promoted to panelists at their agenda item. Applicants will then be able to share their screens and present their materials. As much as possible, presentation materials should be provided beforehand so that materials can be included in the public record. Individual board chairs and staff may wish to keep screen sharing to their computer. Applicants are encouraged to speak with staff prior to the meeting on how material will be presented. Let me just see if anyone else joined us in the interim. Yeah, I see Ken. How are you, Ken?
Okay, I'm on mute.
All right, I see Jim here. Okay, so I will do a roll call. I am here. Ken?
Present.
Jason?
Present.
Jim?
Present.
Dave?
Present.
All right, Dan? I don't see Dan on there. Jamie? I know Jamie said he was traveling, so he was out. Lauren?
Present.
All right, and Leisha. I don't think I saw Leisha. All right, so we do have a quorum. Good. So we will move to the committee business. First, I just wanted to thank the folks who came out to the walkthrough back on the 20th. As you know, it was a little cold out that day. Luckily, we're inside and there was some temporary heat. So I think it was a good walkthrough for those of us who made it. And I appreciate PMA, KBA, and Fontaine. You know, they had reps there pretty much to answer every questions, as well as Chief Alexander was there. So that was helpful. You know, we definitely learned a lot about what's going in there. So that was great, very informative. So I appreciate everyone's time. So with that said,
question?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Are we going to have another walkthrough?
Yeah. We're basically going to do. We're kind of in a rhythm of having a meeting, then a walkthrough, and a meeting and a walkthrough.
In the future, can we distribute someone's cell phone? Because I got there like 10 minutes late, but you guys were inside, and I walked around the building, and I didn't know what door to walk in. I didn't know if it was if it was safe or anything. So
yeah, no,
I just left, which is totally fine. I'm sure I'll see it again, but maybe for the future, if we could exchange phone numbers or something of someone that's going to be in there.
Yeah. And you know what? I had given mine out, but that might have been before you got on the board. So I'm going to send out an email with my number because I'm usually in there. And if you want, Lauren, I'm sure we can arrange. If you wanted to try to sneak in there someday to public, to the substation, let us know. It's it is easy. Like Nick's over there from Fontaine. He's great. He knows the building inside and out. So
that would be great. It's not super important, but
okay. Yeah, just let us know because like I said, I think one of the things they were concerned of, like recently because of the snow, I know Dale over at the other site was just concerned about people walking around, just wants people, the other site's bigger, so he just wanted people to check in before they did, but the substation is, is right there, so. Uh, so just let us know and we can reach out to, whether it's someone from, PMA or from Fontaine,
Great. Thank you.
but we will be going back there, we will.
Okay, good.
All right. All right, with that, we actually have to approve two sets of meeting minutes because we didn't have a quorum last time. So I sent those out earlier. So the first meeting minutes were from September 30th, 2025, that meeting. So anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about the meeting minutes from that date? All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept those?
So move, Carlson.
Carlson. Do I have a second? Jason. All right. We'll have a roll call vote on that. I am a yes. Ken?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Dan is not here. Jamie's not here. Lauren?
Yes.
All right. So those pass unanimously. And we have a second set. That was the one from our last meeting, December 2nd, 2025. I had sent those out. Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about those meeting minutes? All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept those meeting minutes?
Residents, including the owner of a local restaurant.
So move, Ken. Carlson.
All right, Carlson. All right. Do I have a second?
Second, Bruce.
All right. All right, well, a roll call vote on that. I am a yes. Ken?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
All right. Jim?
Yes.
All right. And Laura?
Yes.
All right. So those pass unanimously. Well. Right. So I threw on just a new business item. I think we've talked about, we're obviously spending a lot of time with the public safety buildings and the DPW building, but I do think we want to try to get back into the schools. So I reached out to Tony. I think, so those of you who know Tony, he's the new Dave Twombly, for the facilities person for the school. So I've been trading voicemails with him. So I don't actually have a date, but I didn't know. I was going to ask Jim and Lauren, does he come to your school committee meetings or is he not attend those?
He does if he's presenting.
Yeah.
But he definitely does come.
I didn't know if one of you want to try to work with him on that. Just
No,
because
I can do that.
You want to do that? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's fine.
All right. Because I think what we did last time is we did it kind of in July, so we weren't in the way of the school and the school operations. So I think that worked out well. I think we did 6 p.m. last time when we did the middle school. So, let's see if we can pick a date, probably towards like the end of July. But I obviously want Tony's input because I think that's important. And then we can circle in Dave's group and we can circle in, the principal and everyone else like we did last time. All right. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. That's much appreciated. So we'll get that on the books. All right. Now we will jump over to old business and we will go to the Easton Public Safety and Public Works project update. I don't know if it's who's leading us off. Is it Mitch or is it Walter? Or
Oh, I was gonna, but Greg just grabbed the presentation, so we'll let him drive, I guess.
You can go, Mitch. I'm just running it because I had to fix a couple slides.
Perfect. Appreciate it. All right. Well, thanks, Andy. Good evening, everybody. It's been a little bit since we provided an update, so our agenda for tonight will just be a budget update, general project update, so our construction photos, progress photos, schedule update, We also have a fire substation furniture package, procurement package. So that's for the FF&E over at the fire substation. As we know, that project is finishing ahead of the Depot Street project, so we need to get the furniture released on that. And I'll hand that over to Greg at that time, and he can talk about those items. Then we'll just do next steps and any questions, Q&A. As far as the total project budget goes, we're tracking right around 35% of the total project budget, which was that $150 million. Everything is tracking kind of as planned. We've had a few Fontaine change orders, which, you know, kind of par for the course of the project this size. I think we're going to have number 5 go to the select board next week. And Greg, you can advance the slide here. This is kind of a highlight of our contingency spent to date. So for construction contingencies, these are all the PCOs that get wrapped up into those owner change orders, the 5 that I was talking about. So we've authorized 2.4% of that, which has been approved. Number 5 is not approved yet, so that's in the exposure, that 3.6%. The exposure also accounts for other potential change orders that are coming down the pipeline from Fontaine that we are tracking internally. For the soft cost contingency, you know, and bid savings, we haven't really done a whole lot there, so we still have 98% available. And you can see we've only used, like I mentioned, 2.4% of the contingency out of the available funds. So we still have 94.1% with 47.3% of the project left. So we're almost about at that halfway point of the project. Fire substation, again, a little ahead. Depot Street substantial completion for police, fire, and DPW is December of this year. Go to the next slide, Greg. So now we're getting into the progress updates. So from 11/24 to 1/28, you can see the progress that's been made here. So we have all the masonry going up. The facade work continues around the building. We have the composite panels that are actually going up now. And so the facade work continues along there. Site work, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you might have caught it, is kind of tapering down during the winter months, but as soon as the thaw happens, it'll pick back up. But I wouldn't say we're behind necessarily on site work. More fire substation. This is just an aerial shot. You can see the roof that has the curbing on the roof for the HVAC units as well. And then just the brick facade. It looks nice now that the winter conditions are down. You can get a sense of the building. I think some of you may have saw it on the walkthrough. Next slide. Just more aerials, different angle. It is just good to see it progressing through the winter conditions. Luckily, the masons on this site, they're still working through it over on Depot, but on this site, we were able to get everything tarped in, heated, and get the brick going. And then this is the back where they have it tarped in, and the masonry is proceeding there. You can see on the southwest side of this picture, this is when they were prepping for the radio tower footing. It's since been placed, but that's where the radio tower will go. There'll be communications that connect to that tower and feed into the building. Interior shots of fire substation. So painting is actually underway. So the frames, doors are starting to be painted. The walls had first coats of paint. Then we can progress on. We'll see some other finishes happening. So in the day room, you can see that we have it drywalled. The ceiling grid is in, so that means a majority of the MEP rough, so mechanical, electrical, plumbing, overhead is complete. Before we flood the ceilings, we call it with ceiling tiles. There'll be punch lists that occur, but they're really cruising over here. You can see it's a temp window in this, and a lot of them are still temp windows. We got word today in the meeting that window installation is going to be starting either this week or next week as well. This is the electrical room over there, so whole bunch of fun stuff, right? This is the brains of the building, part of the brain of the building. So we got all the gear going in. You can see it looks like us rat's nests of wires, but those guys know exactly where all those are going. So the true craftsmen are putting this all together. Bunk room and showers. So just progress here. You know, this room looks like it has a coat of paint on it. So painters have been on site. Everything is, we're really happy with how fire substation has been going recently with the progress over there. That brings us over to Depot Street.
Mitch,
and
I was just
public-
gonna jump in 1 second. Are those bathrooms? They're gonna be tiled, right? Like a subway tile or something?
Yeah, Andy, every time you see this tile backer, that is a great indication of where tile is going to be.
Yeah.
The showers, I think, have a acrylic base, but the surrounds are tile.
All right. Thank you.
On that note, I will say, paint is we've had the temperatures for paint. Some of the other finishes they try to hold off on until we can get some warmer weather, like flooring. The tile might be okay in this temperature, but some of the finishes you'll see to ramp up once the temperature kind of climbs back up. All right. So that brings us to Depot Street. Significant progress has been made here since November to now. You can see that we have all of the exterior sheathing on the building, the blue stuff that you see, or purple stuff. And then their work inside the building has been progressing as well since that sheathing went up. So we have the slab on grade and the slab on deck over in the police fire admin that have happened. Just another aerial view. This was in between these dates. You can see them loading all of the roofing material on the apparatus bay and the fire living area. So roofing since progressed as well. Yep, just another angle. You can see the training tower in the back here. I mean, once the roof goes down and you get the facade kind of going, it really takes shape of the true building, so it's nice to see. I think one thing, you want to flip back real quick, Greg, actually. One thing to point out is they have been ongoing with the geothermal well activity. I thought you were going to be able to see it in this photo, but over where Greg is highlighting right now, they just put in the vault for the geothermal wells, so that's kind of where they all come in together. And then along the east side of the building, they completed a well loop as well. So we have those two well loops that are going to be connected. They're still doing some horizontal tie-ins for the second loop, but they're moving along well. No pun intended. And here we go right here. Here's the progress for that as well. This is kind of the layout on the left side. You can see the one loop that Greg is highlighting flows to the front to the vaults, and then there's the second loop as well. Just a reminder that these wells are on average between 500 and 600 feet deep. Interior slab on grade, so this was a good milestone. This was a big placement. I want to say this was over 200 yards, maybe 225 yards of concrete, so one of the largest placements on the job so far. This is really freeing up work inside for the carpenters to do the wall layout, get wall framing going, the MEP guys to get moving. So this is going to free up a lot of work for the Fontaine team and their trades.
And Mitch, I'd just point out here, this is looking into what will be the community room. On the floor here, you see kind of like little holdouts there. Those are the floor boxes that prep that room for not only power and connectivity during meetings, but also that prep it really for becoming, in the event of an emergency, your emergency communications, or your emergency operations center, I should say. So they're in a fairly specific pattern with a lot of technology built into them, so that that room can function not only as a community room, a training room, but also as an emergency communication center.
Yep, great. Here's some framing going on, interior framing. You can see some rough electrical work as well. We have some data wire. We have the conduits going through the tops of the walls. So it's good to point out that the walls have been, we call it topped off. So the walls have tops on them. So that allows the MEP trades to get up there and continue their work. You can see that the insulation gets stuffed in between those as well. And yeah, just progressing over here on this, I think that was the bunk room before. Now this is the watch room. Another angle of that. As they're available, the roof drains are being tied in, so you can see the piping coming down from the roof, going out. Bridges. I think since November, some work has been completed. They've really slowed down on the bridges due to the weather, so they're going to pick that back up in the spring. But this is the first bridge here. You can see, I think on this one, the precast panels are down on the top over here that Greg's showing. And, they've been doing some subtle work, like they were working on the utility hangers for the bridge as well. I think the next photo is going to show us Bridge 2, which is the larger bridge. So that has those long spans that they placed before the weather got too cold to continue on with their work. And they'll be back when the weather warms up and really continue on and get these ironed out. There's a utility box out, as I was mentioned. On the right side, there's another conduit sleeve as well for utilities. And you can see the beams that have all those studs on them that accept the top panels. More utilities at the bridges. Another shot. This one's before the snow. Look at that. Then we get out to DPW. So although we've had snow, we've been battling it. They've been doing a good job removing snow, using ground thaw heaters, getting the footings and walls placed in order for us to proceed with the steel of the building. So in the back, the northwest corner, you can kind of see the admin wing. Greg, I'm not sure if you can highlight that. Yep, so there's the admin wing. And then we're working on the walls for the remainder of the building as well. It's another good angle of it. Really shows you the perspective of the building right there.
Yeah, so Mitch, I'll just kind of orient people. So this is the admin wing here. Pretty much there. The main entrance will be here. So if you remember from the renderings, you'll come down as you after you cross the bridges, you'll come down a little bit of an incline or a decline there. To the right is kind of the entry to the yard. Where these trucks are over here is where the outbuilding will be. Along this line here is where the shops are. At the very end are the three big mechanics bays. In this area back here, kind of up to where my pointer is now, is the interior space for truck parking. So you can see these are lulls. On site here. So these are fairly large pieces of equipment. You can kind of get the scale for the first time of that area here. The salt shed will be off over here. And then the fuel island will be to the right, kind of slipped in over here a bit. So if that kind of gives you a sense and perspective of the site, public parking will be out here, as well as kind of the working radius for the vehicles, particularly during snow operations, is pretty wide here and let you get through in a safe manner.
Greg, just
Awesome.
one question: the shed that they built, that's on that back side, right? Remember we were going to go with a half, but we got the whole full one done. That's on the back side, right?
Yeah, Andy. So that's kind of like in this zone here. So it makes up kind of like that box there.
Yep. Okay.
Did the steel for the building in the back, did that get delayed a little bit because of weather? I think that originally was anticipated for middle of January.
We have it on site, and the fabricator has been on site. I think he mobilized the end of last week, and they've been doing some, I think, layout and control work, and then they're going to start erecting shortly. So we have a couple of sequences, as they call them. They're working sequences. We have a couple of sequences on site. They'll start that, and then we'll get some more steel delivered as well.
Yeah, Jason, the shakeout, they call it basically shaking it out. The shakeout in these buildings is it's kind of like a big erector set. So it takes them a little bit of time to shake things out with the metal buildings. They're on site doing that now. Their lull is there, so we'll start seeing steel fly, I'd say, relatively soon.
Yep. Then just jumping along, this is just an infiltration system for our stormwater, which is out back at DPW. So you get the scale of what we're doing for water management on site. I think we've seen some of these previously with maybe the Depot Street out front with public safety, and then this is just one of them in the back. So we have infiltration and detention on site, and so we have a lot of stormwater management. As far as schedule goes, I think I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Fire substation substantial completion, still targeting May. And then public safety and DPW, we're targeting December of this year. And so this is just kind of to summarize that. Construction for each one of those, the buildings that we said, kind of how we got here, design, bid to construction for both sites. Then, Greg, I'll hand it over to you. You want to discuss this?
Yeah, so as we ramp into the the kind of completion of fire substation, we need to be prepared with both FF&E and technology. So before you tonight is a summary of quotes received for the majority of the furniture for the fire substation. That will be followed in relatively short time by the technology package. I would expect that probably at next month's committee meeting. And we are looking for a vote to recommend this to the select board for execution of 3 separate contracts. The first of which is for the substation furniture that is on state contract. So for folks that have done this before, there are items that are on state contract that we can buy off of without going out for open bid. Couple different procurement methods in play here. That is the top line item, and our recommendation is to award to Strategic Spaces, which is the apparent low bidder, or not bid, but the low quote that we received for this work that is off of state contract. That includes the majority of the furniture within that building. The second quote is for furniture that is not on state contract but within the building. So it's mostly recliners for the day room and some shelving that goes in the into the project. Because this is not on state contract, we're required to get 3 quotes for this. So the 3 quotes you can see there were Strategic Spaces, Creative Office Resources, and WB Mason. Of those quotes, Strategic Spaces was again the lowest. All were responsible. As you can see, they're very close in price. But again, we would recommend the award to Strategic Spaces. Third is, again, equipment that is not on a state contract. This is equipment for the fire station. This is essentially shelving, utility shelving for that building. And here again, the most advantageous quote was Strategic Spaces. We did not receive a quote from WB Mason, but we are still looking to award to Strategic Spaces, as we have met the requirement for soliciting the 3 quotes. In total, this comes up to about $88,500, a little under that. We do have them lined up for installation shortly after substantial completion and final occupancy. Just as a kind of put things in perspective, our overall furniture, fixtures, and equipment budget for this project is, almost 1.3 million. This package totals 88,000, so well within the available funds for the project, and we recommend the award of all 3 contracts to Strategic Spaces. I can take any questions, comments. There's a very large spreadsheet that goes along with this that will be completely blown away by the 2 much larger spreadsheets that go with the other 2 buildings, but for purposes here, this is the recommendation. I should note that these have gone through, this furniture has gone through a pretty extensive review process with departments. Dave, I know you've been on most of those furniture meetings. I'm happy to let you speak to the process a little more in depth if anybody has questions. But I'll open it up to any questions, comments, or potential vote.
Greg, I think that's a good point that I'll just add on to is, this wasn't just like KBA's picking the furniture and we're buying it. It's been a process throughout, many months here of working with the town and the different departments to get this procured, including furniture showroom trips as well as needed. So they've really gone through it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask a question amongst you folks. If you Strategic Spaces, have you worked with them before, Greg or Mitch or Dave? Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, so one of the benefits of state contract is that you do have some control over who you work with. Um, that said, we did go out to two vendors off of state contract to make sure that we did get competitive pricing. And as you see from uh, the pricing was very competitive. So uh, that said, any of the vendors on the list, we'd be happy to work with. They all do a good job. But for these spaces, we narrowed it down to those two and added WB Mason in for some other furniture and fixtures in the station. And you'll see that as that procurement continues on to the other buildings. But this is a separate and distinct procurement, I will say, from the other buildings. Because of the schedule and all the other things, we're treating this essentially as its own project, because we can't ask a furniture vendor to buy furniture and then hold it for, another 6 months or so before they can bring it in. It's just kind of unfair to them, and it's not in the interest of the town, because even if they were willing to do it, you'd have to pay for storage and all that stuff. So we'll go back out again, which means that you may get different furniture in the other buildings than the substation, but given that they're separate and distinct, chances are you're going to end up with essentially the same thing. So,
All right, any other questions from MBC folks? All right, seems pretty straightforward. And so we're just recommending, I know, Mitch, we're just recommending this to the select board, right? They're the ones who will authorize the expenditure.
Yep, that's
So-
correct.
Yep. So I will take a motion to recommend to the select board the furniture package for the fire substation to include the substation on state contract, substation not on state contract furniture, substation not on state contract firematic to be awarded to Strategic Spaces in the amount of $88,418.26. Do I have a motion?
60 hours since you've taken care of it. I think they're searching for someone who is.
So moved, Carlson.
Carlson, all right.
Second,
Do I have a
Cruz.
second? Cruz, all right. Do a roll call vote. I am a yes. Ken?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
All right. Jim?
Yes.
All right. And Lauren?
Yes.
All right, so that unanimously passes, so that's good to go to the select board. And that's what, next Monday, right? Is that it? Mitch,
Yeah,
right? Is that-
that's one we're trying to target. Depending on how busy
This-
they are, it could be the 23rd.
Mitch, this
Okay.
one actually will go to the 23rd for the select board, but we did want to get it in tonight so that they
Yeah.
had your recommendation.
Sure, yeah, fair enough. All righty,
Perfect.
but thank you. Anything else, any other, okay, we got some meeting dates, go ahead.
No, I think this is just whether we want to do looking ahead for the group. I think you've been kind of going meeting tour. So
Yeah.
the next one would probably be a meeting at some point, TBD, maybe March or the end of this month, however you see fit.
Yeah, I was thinking of in March, early March, to do a walk through to the public safety DPW, so go back to the other site. And then we could probably, do you have any items you think are gonna come up that we probably wanna follow that up with a meeting like in mid-March? Do you think you'll have any other things we need to vote on?
Greg, I
We
don't
can
think the furniture thing will be ready for March.
No.
It'll probably be a few months after.
No, we won't need furniture for the other buildings in March. There's a chance, Andy, that we may need a meeting for technology procurement, but at this point, I'm not sure yet. We'll let us work through the process a little bit more, and if we do need that, we would ask for it. But I suspect that the April meeting might be okay for that.
All right. Yeah, so I think what we'll plan on, I'll just send out an email to the group for scheduling purposes. It's what we've been doing, which is a walkthrough a meeting. So we will plan in March to do a walkthrough at the public safety DPW, and then April, we'll have a meeting with an update. And if there's anything we need to vote on, we certainly can at that time. And then we'll keep going from there. So,
Okay.
Does that make sense to the group? All right.
That's all we had.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I love seeing the photos, and that's all on the site, right? There's the website, right, Mitch, that people can go to, the public.
There is the website. We'll take a look and make sure it's up to date. We might have to throw a couple of the last presentations up there. We can upload some more photos too if needed.
Also on the Facebook page, all of these presentations go up within a day or two of them going to you guys.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So if people get questions, from folks here in the town, they can obviously point them to those places. It's good to see it's progressing along nicely. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, folks from PMA and KBA, for that update. That was great. I don't think we have any other new business. So let me see. Yeah. Anyone else have anything else before we adjourn? All right. So I'll have two things. One is I will send out my cell phone so everybody has that in case that happens again. Like even if you can't get into a Zoom meeting or something comes up with the site, you'll have my cell phone. And I'll send out an email also, and we'll start schedule some dates for those next two things. So if there's nothing more, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
So move, Carlson.
Carlson, do I have a second?
Second, Bruce.
All right, we'll do one more roll call. Whoop. All right, I'm a yes. Ken?
Yes.
All right, Jason?
Yes.
All right, Jim?
Yes.
All right, and Lauren? All right, well, that's unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you for everyone joining the meeting, and hopefully we'll get to see everybody in early March, and we'll do that walkthrough, and I'm sure it's going to look a lot different than it was last time we were there. Hopefully it'll be warm. Hopefully there'll be no snow. All right. Well, everyone have a good night.
Thanks,
Thanks
everyone.
all. Good night.
Take care.
We'll see you.